Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to meet the publisher of OSBO Publishing. We're very excited to be launching this new program, and I'm happy to have Justin Sachs on the phone to go over the OSBO program and explain all the benefits that are involved with being a part of that program. Thanks, Justin, for being with us today.
Absolutely. I'm excited to join you here and share a little bit about what OSBO Publishing is all about and the power of having a book published by our publishing company.
Well, I'm really looking forward to our collaboration. As you and I have talked multiple times, it's a really great opportunity to allow a business owner to be able to publish their own book, to enhance their brand, to expand their visibility, to give them more opportunities for speaking and several other things. And this is now a really exciting way for me because I've talked to a lot of people, and one of the biggest challenges is they have a great book idea and they don't know what to do next, or they've got a great book idea, they've written their book, but they have no idea about how to get it marketed and get the word out there. So you've really helped create a program that's going to really enhance and cover all those features. So I just want to be able to show that to the people today. And as you see, we've got a really exciting new program to make available to you. Justin, if you will, tell us a little bit more about the publishing process.
Absolutely. Well, I think there's a variety of different components that people have to be aware of, and it's certainly more than people are initially aware of when they start writing a book for the first time. One of the most important components to the publishing process is always, as our friend Stephen Covey always said, begin with the end in mind, and that means think about marketing, think about your target market, think about who you're writing to when you're putting together the content. So when you think about the publishing process, the target market is always at the top of your mind, and the content development is the first section of what you will be doing. Once you have the content ready, then there's the journey has just begun, as we like to say. Most people think that once they have the manuscript complete, their process is complete, but it's far from the truth. It's at that point that your editing journey begins, that the cover design gets worked on, that the interior layout is worked on, and then once those three things are complete, you're ready to send the project to the printer. Once the printer then approves the files, then it's time for distribution, and that's when the fun begins.
Well, you really outlined the process very well, because I've worked with a lot of different authors, and actually I've been working on a book myself. So we look at it, and you've made it very clear that there is definitely a process, and you've actually got to be considering all steps of the process. And by having this step-by-step program, it's helping people to walk through and make sure that they're not missing any of the key components. And one of the big things is, why should I write a book?
Well, it's a great question. I think that there's a lot of people that think that writing a book is going to make them rich. Writing a book is going to make them millions of dollars. They're going to sell 10 million copies like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, or they're going to sell 250 million copies like Chicken Soup for the Soul series. It couldn't be further from the truth. For most authors, the degree of their success is nowhere near the million copies sold. In fact, it's a fraction of 1% that ever sells a million copies or more. For most authors, the reason to write a book is to build your business, build your brand, establish yourself as a media personality, establish yourself as a highly credible expert in your industry and in your field. I've had authors that have written a book in order to get a job successfully, in order to attract higher paying clients successfully, in order to get corporate speaking engagements, nonprofit partnerships, elaborate joint ventures with high-level experts and brands. You'd be amazed at the results that people are able to create when they put together a book. But the profits don't generally just come from the book, at least not to the tune of millions of dollars.
Well, and that's a good thing to remember, that the book is not the end product. The book is a tool to use to get the end product. And I think that's where a lot of people make that mistake. It's not like if we build it, they will come. It's, using this with the end in mind, as you said, and that's, how is that going to further us on our goal to enhance the brand or to get new speaking engagements or opportunities. And that brings up another question. Well, the biggest benefits of publishing with OSBO Publishing versus going another route?
Well, that's a really important distinction to make. I'd like to start for just a second at looking at the publishing industry as a whole, because it really is indicative of why OSBO Publishing and the offer that we've created is such a powerful opportunity and such a powerful tool for authors today. It's the reason that authors like Jack Canfield, Brian Tracy, Tony Alessandra, Ron Finkelstein, names that are widely recognized and respected across the personal development, business development, and leadership industry. It's the reason that those guys are picking Motivational Press to publish their book. And the reason is because the big guys like Simon & Schuster, HarperCollins, Hay House, and any of the major publishers out there are doing absolutely nothing to market their authors. We're talking sending 2 press releases out and hoping for the best. And that's ultimately the degree that 99% of authors, if you're not Hillary Clinton, Sarah Palin, Bill Clinton, or another A-level celebrity, that's the degree of marketing you can expect from someone like Hay House, HarperCollins, Simon & Schuster, or Penguin. And so that's why OSBO Publishing is so unique, because we've built the marketing system that more powerfully brands, promotes, markets, and represents our authors than any of the major publishers out there. We not only do the press releases that the major publishers do, but we get your book reviewed by major publications. We get your book into the hands of major producers and reporters at high-level media outlets across the world. We get you booked in nationally syndicated and international radio shows. We get you positioned for foreign rights opportunities where your book will be translated into other languages, and not where you have to pay to get it translated, but where they pay you to translate their book into a language, whether it's Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, Taiwanese, Russian. We work in all 50 languages worldwide that we have representation with. Then we do industry promotions to get you promoted to libraries, book clubs, awards, catalogs, and independent bookstores. And we have the largest international distribution representation for all of our authors. Our authors are represented by Ingram, which is the largest distributor in the world. We then built direct relationships with over 58 bookstores in 12 countries, and we have additional distribution in all of the major retailers throughout the world. So you are literally able to have one of the largest distribution portfolios underneath your book pushing you. And then the last piece is we do a 3-pronged distribution approach. That is print, electronic or digital, and audiobook distribution, so that your book is not just in print, not just an ebook, but also an audiobook. And people ask me all the time, why should I put my book in audio? Is it really worth it? And the answer is hands down yes every time, with 1 or 2 very rare exceptions. And the reason is because the audiobook market is fairly untouched by emerging authors. The big publishers are putting the top 5% of their titles into audio. And so you can imagine that the competition is much lesser than any of the other competitors. Where ebook now, you can publish an ebook no matter what the size, no matter what the quality, no matter and with 0 cost. Ebooks are the most competitive market in the book industry right now. Print books are not nearly as competitive as ebooks, but still very competitive. Audiobooks are the least competitive of any market, and so being present there with your book alongside the other 2 venues is critically important.
Well, Justin, how do you create the audiobook? If I'm the author, do I have to voice over that audiobook, or is that something that we do through OSBO Publishing?
It's either or. We have voiceover artists that we've hired professionally that work full-time at creating audiobooks for our authors. We have both male, female, Spanish language, English language, anyone that you need to facilitate your audio transcription professionally, we can do that in-house. Or alternatively, we have authors that want to record it themselves, and we tell them exactly what they need to buy, the microphone, the digital system, so that they can do it at home inexpensively, or so that they can go into the studio and record it at a higher level and professionally. Now, obviously, going into a studio is a little bit more expensive, but for certain authors, that makes the most sense, and that's the one that they want to approach.
All right, well, if we decide that we want OSBO Publishing to handle that, is that included in the package, or is that an extra fee?
That is additional. To have the voiceover artist recorded is additional.
All right, but that is something that they could negotiate once we get the publishing off the ground, and that's always some of the questions that we have, and I think it's great that we've got professionals that can help us through the process.
Certainly, absolutely.
Well, here's one of the key things. How do you go about preparing your book to be published, and how do we work with the authors, Justin, to get them ready to get to publishing?
Well, the first thing is we have to have the manuscript ready to go. Once the manuscript goes through the author's review process, we go through our own internal editing and proofreading process to ensure that there are no outstanding spelling, grammar, punctuation, or flow edits that need to be handled before the book goes to the interior layout phase. Once we go through that editing process, we send it back to the author reviews it and approves everything, and then we're ready for the interior layout. Once it goes through the interior layout process, we get 3 to 5 initial concepts that the author reviews for style. This is the type of fonts we use, the spacing we use, if there's certain graphics we use, if there's pull quotes we pull out, what font size we use. All of these are considered at the layout, style, and formatting phase. Once we agree to the style and formatting, the layout designer will go through the entire book, map everything out for you, and take that final manuscript and put it into a prepared layout form. That's where we're ready to send it to the printer. It'll go back to the author one more time for review and approval, and then we will send it to the printer, where the printer will approve the files and make sure it follows all of the printer's standards before we send it to the publishing.
Well, that's great. And so we've got somebody that will walk with us through the whole process and make sure that we understand the timeline and make sure that everything is taken care of that they need to know. And you've got some amazing partners already established for, as you said, for getting that distribution done.
Yes, we're highly established, one of the most established publishing companies in North America as it relates to our distribution. We're distributed with Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Books A Million in the United States. Those are the top 3 and the largest 3 in the United States. We have chapters, Indigo in Canada. They're the largest in Canada. And of course, we also have Amazon.ca for those of you who prefer Amazon. Then we have Gandhi in Mexico. Now, we don't have a ton of authors based in Mexico, but certain authors have platforms built in Mexico. So we have some distribution with Gandhi, the largest book presenter there. Then we have expanded distribution into the major retailers in the United Kingdom, Australia, South America, Singapore, and Malaysia as well. All of the major and the top book distributors there, including Kalahari in South America. That's a big one there. So yeah, the publishing package is really built to be all-inclusive and end-to-end. We've designed it so that our authors can join our organization at any point in the process and have everything taken care of for them, from the editing to the cover design and interior layout with our award-winning designers, to the packaging, the publishing, the distribution globally through all of our leading retailers of all 3 formats of their book, our representation to foreign rights agents, leading film and television agents where appropriate, and our representation to book reviewers throughout the world. And of course, our promotion, which is the most important and the most differentiating component of our work. And that is where we promote our authors in as many different ways as we can, including getting them on radio, television, print media, and online media, getting them positioned for foreign rights opportunities in digital distribution, getting them ready for virtual summits and speaking opportunities, and featuring them in our speakers catalog, our media catalog, our website that features them from a behind-the-scenes look into their life of who they are as a leader and an expert, and getting them positioned for all of our different marketing and promotion that we do on an ongoing basis with our quarterly marketing campaigns on behalf of our authors.
Well, and we're going to also include the OSBO marketing programs that are available as well, so that they'll have access to business products and services and resources to help them to build their brand, but also the marketing services that we have through OSBO, through our OSBO online bookstore, and partnership with a lot of experts that can help them to take this project forward. And I'm looking at the price, Justin. I can tell you that I got a quote higher than that just to do the cover design.
You're absolutely right. If you piece all of these pieces together, you can't do it cheaply for for less than what we've made available here. This really is a fantastic offer, and the reason that it's so great is that our team has been brought on at such a level that we are able to really support a high level of work with our authors. We're able to support them in really building and growing as an organization.
And one thing that I found really key is that because of the marketing, it does give the authors an opportunity to get a lot of exposure, where in a lot of the other self-publishing opportunities, these authors really have to know how to market and promote themselves, or they have to go out and hire a marketing firm, which would cost more than what our package does to do all the things that they need done to help them get exposure. And your authors have really had some great exposure on the national media.
Absolutely. Our authors have been seen on Oprah when she was still doing her show, have been seen all over the Huffington Post, the Today Show, the New York Times, MSNBC, Fox News, ABC. You see the logos there on your screen. All of those, all of the major media in the country, our authors have been featured. We actually have weekly columnists on Forbes that are a part of our association, part of our community, constant columnists on the Huffington Post that are working with us. So we're able to really grow the following. And the best part is, by joining our family, by joining our community, when we secure a consistent columnist opportunity for one of our authors, many, many times those authors are going to be featuring other OSBO Publishing authors in their column, so that the promotion and the collaboration just continues to grow.
That's amazing. And we also have a wonderful As Seen on TV national media promotion that can be added on through some of our expert team that offer that to our authors. And I think you mentioned before all the foreign rights. I think that's really important for people to understand, that if they do want to expand into other countries, that there is that opportunity.
Exactly. Absolutely. We represent all of our authors in the foreign markets. The only titles that we restrict, meaning they usually just aren't a fit, are titles that are legal or real estate in nature, because the international markets are just so different culturally that there's no way to sell those titles internationally. But other than those two genres, we're very successful at positioning our titles for foreign rights opportunities. And many of our authors have had the opportunity to have their titles sold into international markets.
That's wonderful. Well, I think it's important for people to understand what really sets OSBO Publishing apart. And as you said, the core values as to help deliver extraordinary service and have to embrace and drive change. And I think that's something that you've really shown us through this presentation, is that this is a different way of thinking about it, a different way of taking on the publishing opportunity and taking it to the next level.
Absolutely. We are positioned really to be the answer for authors looking to put their book on top amongst their competition. We're positioned to support authors in ways that most publishers out there just really won't be able to.
Well, and I really like the team mentality, and that's one of the reasons that OSBO wanted to really partner and create this publishing brand, is because it's really important to have a team, so you're not out there by yourself. And I know so many people that have been trying to write their book for years, and it just never gets off the shelf because they can't have that team behind them to help them take it to the next level.
Absolutely. It's so true. I mean, we've really built the structure. In order to do what we've done, we've calculated you would need 10 to 15 different staff people working with you, and you would need at least 5 full-time employees to facilitate the work that we do on behalf of our clients. And so there just really isn't a way for an author in a self-published environment, or even on the traditional publishing level, to get the results that we produce for them. In mostly, that's because of the team and the structure that we've built. We believe not in hiring a project manager for the entire project, but in hiring people based on their expertise. If they're experienced in booking people in the media, let's have them do that and have them do that for our clients. If they're experienced in design, let's have them do that, rather than having a project manager that's supposed to be booking you in the media, getting your reviews, designing your material. It's too much for one person to be a high-profile expert at. And our authors find that that's a much more effective and a much more successful way of engaging with our authors and having it be successful for them.
And that's one thing that I really look for is people that are experts in their field. And, you know, marketing and PR and business services are really my expertise. But by bringing on the team that Justin heads up, that gives me a really great publishing team to make available to the authors as well. So that's what's important, is making sure you have people that are experts in the industry. You've done it before, you know how to do it, you've done it successfully, and now people understand the process and they know they can count on OSBO Publishing to get them where they need to go.
Absolutely. And you're absolutely right. I mean, that's the critical component to any organization you're looking with. You want to find an organization that has the experience, that has the know-how, and that has the ability to focus in a dedicated way to you, your book, and to the marketing and promotions behind it.
Well, one of the last things I wanted to ask you about is I saw that there are a lot of ways to get your book endorsed. And, you know, we've all seen books that we open it up and it has a celebrity endorsement. Tell everybody a little bit about how that might work.
Well, we've been fortunate enough to get some extraordinarily high-level endorsements from presidents, congressmen, leading business authorities, huge names in both public as well as the private sector. And we teach our authors exactly how to go about getting those endorsements, how to get high-level promotional partners, how to get nonprofit partners to push their books out and to have them be as successful as possible. We've found that not only do the most successful books come from working in the nonprofit environment from a promotional partner standpoint, working in the collaborative environment with their colleagues and their associates that they've worked with, we've actually been able to get some of our authors to create joint venture and promotion alliances with people that they've previously considered high-level competition in their business, simply from structuring it and positioning it appropriately.
And that's a really key point you just made, because a lot of the key experts within OSBO are putting together joint venture partnerships, and that's a real critical thing that they're able to do. And so it would give our authors even one more added advantage of having a team that then could help structure joint venture promotions for them. And there is another component of being able to package this along with charities as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a critical component to be able to do that.
All right. Well, we can close up by saying a little bit about the publishing timeline, because I'm sure that's what everybody's thinking now. Well, how many years is this going to take if I come up with the concept and get started? And the good news is it's not going to take years.
No, most of our authors have their book out in 90 to 180 days. So that's 3 to 6 months. And basically what it looks like is it all depends on how quickly we're able to get the book edited with you. In other words, it takes us about 2 weeks to edit a title, and after those 2 to 3 weeks, we rely on you to get back to us quickly. And the only thing that delays that 90-day window is how quickly you get back to us. So we're able to move very quickly through the process, and we're able to get our books out and moving very quickly. We believe in speed to market more than anything else.
That is just so amazing. And then the authors have the choice of actually purchasing books directly themselves and also being able to tell people to go to Amazon and purchase them, right?
Exactly.
All right. So I guess the only thing people need to know is if you are interested in learning more, you can find more information at the OSBO website, and you'll find a form there that you can fill out that will give you the information you need to set up your cover design, to get everything started. And then we will definitely get you in touch with our core team, and that will help us to get the process started. And we're very excited again about launching OSBO Publishing, and we look forward to hearing from you and working with you closely to help you get your book on the shelves. Thank you very much, Justin. I appreciate your time and look forward to working with you.
You too. Thanks, Tana.
Thank you.